Chapter 1: The Forgotten Village. When Emma arrived in the small, isolated village of Hollow's End, she thought it was just another place on the map. A quiet, forgotten corner where the modern world had little reach. But there was something unsettling about the village from the moment she stepped off the bus. The village was quiet, too quiet. There was no buzz of conversation, no sound of children playing. The houses, once white and welcoming, stood like decaying tombstones, their windows blank and lifeless. The streets, paved with cobblestones, were cracked and overgrown with moss. The air was thick with a sense of abandonment, and yet, every house had lights flickering behind the drawn curtains. Emma had only come to Hollow's End to escape the noise of the city, to retreat into nature for a weekend to clear her mind. She wasn't expecting much, just a few days of quiet solitude. But something about the place didn't sit right with her. The locals, though they would nod politely when she passed, never made eye contact. Their faces were too still, their movements mechanical, as if they were sleepwalking through their lives. She checked into the inn, run by a gruff woman named Mrs. Whitmore, who seemed to have lived there for far longer than she should have. The inn was the only place in town with any signs of life, its fire crackling in the hearth, though no guests had arrived since Emma. Later that evening, while exploring the town, Emma stumbled upon a strange sight: a group of villagers gathered near the old chapel on the hill. The chapel, once a place of worship, now stood in ruin, its steeple broken and its doors rotted away. The villagers stood in a circle around the chapel, their faces tilted up to the sky, chanting in hushed tones. The air was thick with tension, and Emma could feel her pulse quicken as she watched them. Something in their eyes was wrong, empty, almost as if they weren't human at all. Terrified, she turned to leave, but the ground beneath her feet seemed to shift, as though the earth itself was rejecting her presence. She stumbled, and as she looked back, one of the villagers turned to meet her gaze. His eyes were black voids of emptiness, like pools of ink. His lips parted, and a low whisper floated to her ears, though no sound came. "You shouldn't have come." Emma's heart raced. She didn't know what was happening, but she knew that whatever it wasn't normal. It wasn't safe. That night, Emma lay in her bed at the inn, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. The sound of scratching at her window kept her awake, the noise soft at first, almost like the wind. But then it grew louder, like nails on glass. When she finally dared to peek outside, her blood ran cold. In the dark, just beyond the inn's garden, stood the same man she'd seen earlier, his hollow eyes fixed on her window. His face twisted into a smile that didn't reach his eyes, and then, as though he were melting into the darkness, he disappeared. Emma could feel it then, the heavy weight of being watched, hunted by something unseen. The next morning, the town seemed normal again, the villagers pretending to go about their lives, as if nothing had happened. But Emma couldn't shake the feeling that she was no longer just a visitor. She was trapped in Hollow's End, a town whose residents were bound by a sinister force. A force that had been waiting for her arrival.